So it's me, Tom, and Tyros here. We're doing another interview, CPDL Season 3, Get to Know the Coaches series. And we got Pops VGC on this one. I'm real excited. So let's get right into it. Pops, can you introduce yourself to the league? Tell us a little bit about your Pokemon history and tell us a little bit about yourself. We'd love to get to know you, man.
Yes, so I go by Pops VGC on Twitch and Twitter, Pops and the Discord. Um, so a little bit about myself. I am, uh, just regular guy. Have a nice little family here. Live in the Midwest. I have two little girls. As far as Pokemon goes, my Pokemon history is actually pretty short. I've obviously played Pokemon most of my life. I took a really long break in like my teenage years. Um, so basically like my last generation was Generation 4 with Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and then I didn't pick it back up until Sword and Shield. Um,
Wow.
and I just got addicted to it. Love it so much. Started competitive Pokemon in like Series 6 in singles, and it was terrible, honestly. Series 6 was just terrible. And then in Series 7 is the first time I made it to Master Ball in singles, and then also started doubles in Series 7. Um, and since then, it's just like every month, every season, every series, I'm getting better. Um, I've topped out at so my highest rank on ladder was Series 8. I got into Master Ball at rank like 797, I think. Um, with a Groudon and Sigalith team from James Bake. And
So
so it's
cool.
really like my peak, I guess. I don't really play a lot of ladder. It's just kind of hard to honestly. I prefer Showdown. It's just a lot easier to play because they're quicker games.
Mhm.
But but yeah, I mean, I kind of find that my my lack of experience with gens 5, 6, and 7 kind of hurts me sometimes because I missed out so many like vital mods and like a lot of the power creep that I've seen in Series 5, at least from old VGC tournaments and old championships on YouTube. I missed out on a lot of those Pokemon and a lot of those metas. And so it's kind of like a disadvantage to me, I think, is I don't have that experience, but at the same time, I'm a super quick learner, and I think I've learned VGC extremely fast, and I've been really dedicated to it lately. But yeah, I mean that's my history pretty much.
I would completely agree if this is your first time doing like VGC, and I mean, I I would like to think myself a decent player and definitely like out of the box thinker, and you caught me definitely off guard week one, and then you caught Jade completely off guard in the second week, um, and
Yeah,
it's been really cool, and I'm super happy that you're in this league right now. Moving
And
over.
yeah, I want to jump in quick too. But one more thing, Tyros, before you ask your next question. I actually took a gap from Gen 3 until Omega Ruby and Sapphire. So the last game I played was Emerald. I Red, Leaf Green, Emerald, Ruby, Sapphire, and then I jumped until Omega Ruby, Alpha Sapphire, and I never played competitively. I just played casually. And same with Ultra
hmm
Sun, Ultra Moon. I just played like casually and never really played competitively. Have you found any resources to figure out? Have you just been watching old YouTube tournaments to figure out the old meta games and help your knowledge? Have you been doing anything to increase your knowledge of those generations?
yeah, 100%. I watch a lot of YouTube, especially like with my work situation right now. I'm basically just waiting for like my new building to come up, so I'm really just sitting around a lot at work. So I'm on YouTube a lot, and I use that time to I watched a lot of Pokemon. Obviously, like a lot of my learnings came from like Wolfie and Aaron, and most recently like Colin on the Battle Room on Twitch.
Mm,
JoeUX92. They kind of taught me a lot of like the previous meta games of Sword and Shield, but
Okay.
that got like kind of boring. You know, like when you watch like hundreds of hours of Gen 8 Pokemon, it's like it's gonna get boring. So I just started watching like old VGC tournaments. I started with like I started with Sagen Park. His VGC tournament when he won with Pachirisu. I thought that was kind of cool. And so that got me onto Sagen Park, who is just an incredible team builder. He really thinks outside the box, and I really like his team building style because he can really throw you off guard with a lot of like off meta Pokemon that synergize really well in ways that you wouldn't expect them to synergize. Um, and then from there, I just started watching all like every year's VGC Masters Division final, and then it just like it got more and more. I started watching juniors finals, and I started watching semifinals, top 16s, and just because like at first I was just attracted to like different metagames, right? It's like when you're in the metagame in Sword and Shield, you get the same top 20 Pokemon, but then you go back to these older formats and you look at those top 20 Pokemon, they're obviously completely different than what there is now. And so it's just like a nice like break from it. But it also like turns me on to, it's kind of weird to say, but it it helps me find like new strategies that may be old. They're new to me, but they're probably old, but they're new to me. That I can incorporate into my game and just kind of build upon from that as well.
I love that. And then yeah, Tyros, I totally interrupted you before, so
Oh, you're
my bad.
good.
I just wanted to ask because I have a similar gap in knowledge. I don't know anything about Black and White, Black and White 2. Most of the Gen 5 mons are still kind of new to me. I'm still trying to catch up. So that's why I was like, yo, I find myself sometimes in a similar spot. Like I have no idea what the metagame was like back then. So that's an interesting thing. I've never really went back and watched that Pachirisu game. That's something I'd probably love to watch too. So that's
That is an amazing best of three, by the way. It's so fun to watch. I
I
think you'd really enjoy it.
I have
thank you.
also not seen that one. I actually just changed the slide.
You've
I forgot
gotta
to.
watch it, man. It's so good, and it's just like it's so perfect because like the whole crowd is just cheering for Sagen Park because he has a Pachirisu on his team. He like carries this Pachirisu plushie everywhere he goes, and it's like when he wins, like just the whole place is just like erupting, and like it's even like better too because like with COVID, it's like I'm like a huge fight fan, so I watch all these UFC events and there's no fans, and I just
Yeah.
miss when there's fans at events, you know. And so like
Yeah.
getting to see those where there's fans, it's just really cool.
I can totally get behind that. Um, I actually had to just change the slide to update your next opponent for a Bahani. But sliding over to the draft. So I think the draft I absolutely personally love the draft. I think it's one of the best parts of VGC by far.
Hmm.
And being able to utilize different mods you've never seen before or that are rarely used in the VGC like area, and trying to use like different strats based on how your team looks out. Um, so what type of strats did you have for the draft? Is there anything you're looking for, or did you prioritize anything going in? Because you had a very, I think you were the number one pick, weren't you?
Yeah, I was number one. I was super happy about that.
Yeah.
Before I get into that really fast, I want to just first say that I'm super thankful to be in this draft league and really just happy about it. A little bit of backstory. This is the third draft league I've applied to get into, and it's the first one that accepted me.
Oh wow.
Um,
I didn't
and
realize it was that
yeah,
there were
which
draft leagues
kind
that
of
denied
sounds
people.
silly, right? Yeah, I mean, I've been denied draft league spots before. I don't know why. I don't know if it's experience or maybe because like I wasn't in the Discord, but for like a day when I went to apply or whatever the reason was. Um, but I'm just so fortunate for this opportunity because aside from wanting to try something different with the draft style, I truly felt like this draft league was going to elevate my knowledge and IQ of Pokemon battling. And after 2.5 weeks, I mean, I can say it's made a huge difference just because before the draft league, I like never did damage calcs. And now I'm looking at team building for like rank ladder, doing damage calcs. And it's making such a big impact on myself as a player, just my knowledge of Pokemon that I'm really fortunate for that.
I
Let's shout out Behanian Fox or whoever found you. Shout out. Let's go. Shout out Champions Path Draft League. Apply for season 4. We're taking applications on Twitter.
I would completely agree with what you just said, Pops. I mean, so I joined last league. I actually tried to get on. They had someone drop out in season one, and I applied for that, but I didn't get in time. And season two, like coming in, I it completely changed my mindset of how to utilize different guys. And I completely the same. I never did damage calcs before, and I was in my room over here in my hotel room, like running damage calcs, trying to figure out like how much health I needed or how much defense I needed to live one shot so I could hit him and kill him in one shot. It is super awesome.
Exactly.
It's so much. I find that probably one of the most fun things about doing this. So sorry to
Oh,
interrupt you.
100%. Yeah. No, you're good. Yeah, damage calcs can be tedious. Like they're fun at first when you're like doing like the cool mons on your team, but then when you have to do damage calcs for like your C tiers, you're like, oh, I want to be done with this.
So, wait,
But
speaking of your C-tier mods, looking at your roster, you have a really good roster. What did work out for you and what didn't work out for you into the draft? Like, yeah, let's just talk about the draft because we'll bring up the trades later. But in the draft,
yeah,
what strategies did you really think like this worked out well for me? What were you did you come out of the draft like, that didn't work as well as I thought? I want to hear some of that.
yeah, 100%. So let me see here. So yeah, so I'm gonna answer both of those questions because I got asked two questions there. Um,
Yes. Yeah.
so first question, what my strategy going into the draft was. I mean, honestly, I didn't have a lot of strategy to be honest with you. I kind of like threw down like I think 30 Pokemon that I really like. I was like, if I get some combination of these 30 Pokemon, I'm happy. And I realized that like that was kind of stupid, but it also kind of worked in my favor because when I got sniped, it wasn't like I had this plan that I had to beat that got ruined because one Pokemon got sniped. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Mhm.
but like so I was number one, which I was super excited about, and because like being number one is kind of bittersweet because you get whoever you want, but then it's like, well, shit, like who do I want the most? But then it's like, is that pick really valuable at number one? Um, and so how that really went was like I was really gonna pick Urshifu Single Strike number one because like the Pokemon's just freaking broken, being able to hit through Protect and crit every time. But I realized like I didn't want Urshifu. Like the Pokemon I wanted the most out of this was Tapu Fini. Um, and I felt Fini was kind of high to go number one, but I also felt that I wasn't going to get Fini with the what was it, like the 25th pick or 24th pick or
Yeah.
whatever it is, the last pick around
I
two.
completely agree.
So I just like took the bullet and grabbed Fini one. And then from there, my real strategy was just like taking best available off my list, which kind of bit me in the butt at first, but then I made some trades that we'll talk about in a minute that
Yeah.
I think are really good for my team. But that led into like Grimmsnarl and Incineroar, which Incineroar was one of my top Pokemon, not only because Incineroar is the best Pokemon in Pokemon battling, like in VGC, like in my opinion, but it's also like my favorite Pokemon, and I know that probably like rubs people the wrong way, but it's my favorite Pokemon for like really cool reasons. It's actually my not only is it a cool design and I love it competitively, but my daughter is like infatuated with Incineroar. So like we just have like a kind of a connection there. And so
Amazing.
even though like I told her before the draft, she was like, "Are you getting Incineroar?" I was like, "I don't know," because like there's really good Intimidators in B and C tier, you know.
Yeah, for
But I
sure.
saw Incin was available, so I picked up Incin kind of for just my own personal interest as well as my daughter's. And then from there, it was continue to take best available. Like I really wanted Inte. He got sniped from me. I really wanted Bulu, which I got Bulu. And then Drifblim was kind of like the cherry on top because Drifblim is such an amazing support Pokemon with terrains. And since I have two terrain setters, I think it's really good. And Drifblim can also work with like with weather because he gets Sunny Day and Rain Dance, so he can get really fast weather moves off to either disrupt opposing weather or do weather in my favor, like we saw last week with the rain boosted Fini moves. Um,
Wow.
and then
Wow.
after
That's
that,
amazing.
like I'm trying to think who I even
You
drafted.
you're
I know
good,
that
man.
sounds
So
silly. I don't
you
remember my
you
draft.
totally sniped me on Bulu. So I grabbed Bulu, I think in like the second to last round last season, and like I
Yeah,
got
you did, and that's why I felt like Bulu was. I took him too early because he went
oh
so
man.
late last year.
So I was actually get the same round that you grabbed him. I think it was coming back to me that round, and I was taking him that
Mhm.
round. And like
Yeah,
I had him on my list. Like I'm taking him because I knew I had a redirector. I love Blue. It gets sword stance, and you can start hitting craziness after that. Like, oh man, I was so pissed when you grabbed him. Oh man, I
It
gotta
wasn't too
say,
early, Pop.
um, I so you were ranked last in our power rankings after the
yeah.
draft, right? And we said on the stream like we think you probably have a little bit too many support mons, which you said was like with Grimsnarl and stuff. Uh, and then you made some adjustments, and I think your team ended up like really cool. And
Yeah.
after we played, I actually really like the Lake Trio myself. And
Mhm.
Fox Me Handy still shoved me a little bit for liking those guys. But I think Azelf is
They're so good.
really cool on your team.
Yeah, 100%.
I think it hits like a truck. It's super fast, and I think it rounds it out really well. And overall, I really like what you've done, man. And I'm super excited for next week. So you've already really talked about it, but how do you like your team really like going out of the draft and with the trades that you have made so far this season?
Yeah, so
Yeah,
talk about the
so
trades. This is another two questions in a row. But yeah, tell us about the trades and how you like your team. Let's combine these two. Because yeah, I'm
yeah,
excited. I
so
want to let you talk for a while. You're very insightful. I like hearing your opinions and talking so far.
for sure, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I've used all four of my trades so far. Which is kind of scary, but at the same time, like I think my team is amazing at this point. Like what I know that my team can
Yep.
do, and what I know that like at least like the general idea I have about some of the opponents in the league is there's a lot of stuff I can do with my team that's really like non-meta that they're not going to expect at all. Um, and but also like I feel like my team comes together really well. Like everyone kind of synergizes in their own way, right? Like I've got the terrain setters with drift blims, unburden, and support. I've got Incineroar for just being like really bulky, really hard to kill, and really annoying with intimidate spam. Because yes, I intimidate spam. Marowak, Alolan Marowak, an S tier design. It's got lightning rod support because I'm really weak to electric. With so many flying and water, or with one water and two flyings, I'm really weak to electric. So I thought the lightning rod support was good,
I
That
as
love
well
it.
I'm,
as
I'm not gonna lie, that
um,
really when I was doing practice battles with a bunch of people, the lightning rod really effed me up a lot. I think that was a
yeah,
fantastic grab.
yeah. I panic picked Alolan Marowak because I was actually planning on getting Raichu. I love Raichu, and but he got sniped from me, so I picked Alolan Marowak as kind of like a I just like last resort. I didn't even think about it. And this Pokemon has surprised me so much in practice with how strong it is with Fit Club, um, as well as just being able to switch in on a suspecting electric move, and or if we're not running Lightning Rock, Rock Head is an amazing ability with Stab Flare Blitz. I mean that's just crazy to me. Um, and the rest of my team, like Azelf, I love Azelf so much. I've gotten so much heat for Azelf, and I don't even know why. First of all, Azelf is ranked way too low. It's a B tier. It should definitely be A tier, in my opinion. So I thought that
Let's
was really
go.
good value,
Lake
as well
Trio.
as
Let's go.
like the only one like Mesprit could be C tier. Uxie and Azelf should honestly be A tier, because Uxie's bulk and coverage, and then Azelf's fire like hyper offensive nature and coverage moves. Um, but what's really good about Azelf is not only does it get so much coverage, but it can run physical or special. You can't know which one it's going to run because it gets coverage moves on both sides. And
Yep.
everyone's like, oh, it's a glass cannon, it's a glass cannon. Azelf has 75 HP, 70 defense, 70 special defense in Dynamax. Like, that's not a glass cannon. You're going to live a hit in Dynamax, and then you're going to be able to throw out an expert belt super effective hit because it has every freaking type coverage, you know?
Let's go, Pops. I love this hype of the Lake Trio. Tyros is the only one. I've never really like experienced. I've never played Diamond Pearl Platinum. I might have played once as a kid after like way after they came out, but I don't remember much about that. So hearing this Lake Trio stuff, seeing Tyros use Mesprit, and someone called it Mess Spirit, and I ran with it. I loved calling it Mess Spirit after that. But Tyros used Mess Spirit awesome last year. Now I'm excited to see how you use Azelf this year, and hearing you talk about it like that, that's amazing, man. Like I'm so excited to see these Pokemon in use now.
Yeah, man, Azelf is cool. I love it. And then going into Lopunny. Lopunny is literally my favorite support Pokemon. It's like it's kind of a meme, but it's so strong with Klutz because you can entrainment Klutz, which was like MVP of week 1 match 2. Without entrainment Klutz on Sableye, I literally lose to Tyros 2-0. Seriously, because Sableye was
that
screwing me.
ejection button. As soon as I got that ejection
Oh
button, I was
yeah,
like,
and eject button.
man, this
The
match is over.
Klutz switcheroo eject button is such a meme play, but it still works. It's still
Oh, it's
consistent,
great.
you
It's
know.
great. Yeah, that's a great move.
Um, and it gets fake out support, which is really powerful, and it's got base 105 speed, so it's in a really good speed tier in a draft league where not everyone has Regieleki, you know. Um,
Yeah, that's for real though.
and then yeah, and so next, so my last, let's see, my last 4 Pokemon are all from trades. It looks like so Celesteela. I picked up Selly because I realized after the draft, I have a really really strong Firewater Grass Core with Feeny, Bulu, Incin, and Marowak.
Yeah.
But I was like super heavy fairy. I had no steel or dragon stab, which I kind of regretted not going for like a fairy steel dragon core. And so I immediately picked up Selly and Garchomp.
So that happened. I can literally remember because I had that day off. Actually, it was like Wednesday morning at like 10 o'clock. I'm at my computer doing some calcs, and I get this text on my phone. Pops made a trade. I was like, oh, okay. Who'd he trade? And I see these trades: Grimmsnarl for Celesteela and Articuno for Garchomp. I was like, ah, shit. This is just got a lot harder.
Yeah, man.
Those were fantastic, man. Those were 2 really, really good ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason I picked Selly up is because Selly can be ran like 3 ways. Um, with like Leech Seed leftovers, kind of similar to Ferrothorn, as well as a Dynamax, which is gonna get Stab Steel and Stab Max Airstream, which I was really lacking. I didn't have a Pokemon that could really Max Airstream. And then you can also run like the Power or Meteor Beam set, which is really strong, as we saw Jolt use it
So
last week.
strong.
Um,
So strong.
and then I picked up Garchomp to get some Ground and Dragon Stab, as well as Garchomp is just, I mean, it's a pseudo legendary. It's a base stat monster. It's at a really good speed tier for Draft League again at 102 because there's a lot of base 100 speeds, and so I'm for sure outspeeding them unless they're scarfed, you know. And so that's really powerful to have and really good knowledge to have, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As well as Garchomp just hits so hard with Life Orb. I mean, it's ridiculous. Um, and then I got Mr. Mime Galler because I did Grimmsnarl for Sally, and then I dropped Galarian Articuno and Buzzwole to then upgrade to another S tier and then go for a C tier. I ended up dropping Articuno because when I originally drafted it, I had this idea of like Psy spam with Azelf, and I was like, that's just not going to work how I wanted it to. And then I dropped Buzzwole because Buzzwole, as much as I love Buzzwole, I really love this Pokemon. It's just kind of trash in Sword and Shield, unfortunately. And but yeah, so I got Mr. Mime Galler because it's really, really bulky with a Violite or Eviolite, however you pronounce it.
Yeah.
And it's and its move screen cleaner is really strong. Being able to just switch in and remove screens is really powerful. So like when I play someone who is relying on screens, that's just completely out of the question now. And it's also another mon that gets fake out support. It gets icy wind. It's a really great support mon that's really hard to KO.
Yeah,
Ally
Fox.
switch.
Yeah,
Ally switch, yeah, ally switch.
Fox had Galare Mr. Mime last year, and it did work. It was really good. I think
Put
that
in
was
work.
also a great pickup overall. And I
Yeah,
actually really like your. I forgot to list your last one here on the sheet, but trading Butterfree for Alona Executor, I think also was
yeah.
great trade as well.
No, I
Yeah,
think so too. Yeah, and going into uh Lowland Executor, the reason so basically like I was looking to do one more trade, and I was looking at team part on like members of my team that I felt were like not performing, as in like looking at my schedule ahead, like who am I never gonna bring, and like who could I switch out that I could bring, right? And so I was like, okay, like I was really considering switching Bulu for Ludicolo, um, because I felt like Ludicolo would have been
Should have
a more
done that.
reliable grass Pokemon. Um, yeah, I should have done that, Hatcher, so you can get Bulu. um, but I realized that Butterfree, I'm never gonna bring Butterfree because it's just too hard to do a status strat with Tapu Fini.
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
That's
because
what
I
I
mean,
said
as
in
you
the
can,
initial stream. With the
right,
Gmax Wing
right,
Snarl too gets a yawn.
exactly. So it's um, like Fini is like the main player of my team. That's pretty clear, I think, how I've been playing. And so I felt Butterfree was a better mon to let go of because as soon as like I have a matchup that's weak to grass, like Bulu's gonna feast. So like I definitely want that. Um, and Alolan, so basically like I was looking at C tier and I saw Executor, and like Executor is just a base stat monster. It's a Gen 1
Mhm.
monster. I love Executor. I always use it in my Kanto playthroughs. And so I was gonna pick up regular Executor, and I was like, well, let me look at Alolan, like what are the differences, right? And I think Alolan Executor, it's kind of tough with the typing because like what Alolan Executor now resists or has neutral damage, it picks up some pretty big weaknesses in Dragon and 4-time Ice. Um, but I really liked uh, the abilities with Alolan Executor. Frisk is such a good ability in a best of 3 format. Like being able to find out your opponent's items without guessing or like without them being used is really powerful, I think. As well as Harvest. I think Harvest, considering Drifblim can set up Sun, Marowak and Cineroar can set up Sun with Max Flare. That's actually a really good ability to have if you're running like a Berry Executor, just to keep it around longer. Get 100% Berry Recycle. Um, and then also it's slower, right? It's like it's 10 base stat points slower than regular Executor, which now gives my team an actual Trick Room mode with Alolan Executor and Marowak, which I was really lacking. Like basically my only Trick Room setter was Azelf, and that's to base 115 speed mon. That's kind of not gonna happen. Um, and so overall, it added a second strong dragon, a second strong grass stab, as well as Trick Room. So it was kind of a no brainer to me to drop Butterfree for one of the executors, and we just went with the Alolan Executor.
I absolutely love it. Like your team is scary.
Yeah, man. After the draft, I was like, this team is so heavy on support that like it's kind of ridiculous. And now that all my trades are done, like I think I have like, and maybe I'm just being biased, but like I really think I have one of the best teams in the league, East or West Division.
I
I
I would
love that.
I would completely not. I mean, after the trades, I would not argue that literally
At
at
all.
all. You have the premier support mons in Fini and Incineroar, and then you literally probably have the premier offensive mons in the lower tiers, to include
Mm-hmm.
Garchomp and Celesteela in the upper tiers. Like is no joke, man. You have a great team, and plus from what we've seen the last 2 weeks, like you're a very out of the box thinker, which is
Yeah.
fantastic in a draft league because you never really know what you're gonna see the next week, which is fantastic. So like I said before, I'm super super excited that you're in this league. Um,
Me too.
it's really fun to have someone like you that can think outside the box and bring some fun tech every week. I absolutely, that's probably second to the draft is probably the tech for me. Just see like what someone can do to f up their opponent and catch
Right.
them off guard. So that's super super cool. So what do you think about your odds for the playoffs so far? I mean, you're 2-0. You're looking really good. Um, you beat me, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm still a little salty about. Um, uh, and then you beat Jade, and you beat Jade handily. That being said, Jade is no joke. You can just completely caught him off guard, and that happens. But Jade is
Mhm.
no joke of an opponent, and you got Behani next week. So you've had a a rough schedule going in, but you have handled it like expertly.
Magnificently. Yeah.
Uh, and going into week 3, I think you're looking really good, man. What do you think about going forward?
Yeah, so it's kind of weird, right? Like, if I'm being honest, I won week 1 off of a rock slide miss. So, like, in theory, I should be 1-1 right now, right? But I'm not. I'm 2-0.
Hey, man,
Beating
RNG,
Jade, like,
RNG happens. That's all that matters.
yeah, true. I mean, like, I say it all the time. A win is a win, you know. Um,
Yep.
but I mean, after I beat Jade, how I did, it's like it's one of those weird things where it's like in my head and in my prep, that's exactly how it was supposed to go. But at the same time, it's like it doesn't always go your way. And so like, but that just kind of instilled like a big confidence booster in me. Um, just beating Jade 2-0 and how I did it. You know, he got one KO on me. And I honestly could have switched out just to make sure he got no KOs. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I could have been like
Yep.
just a dick, I guess. Um, and so it's like I feel like after that, it's like that really got people's attention, right? Um, but like I was looking at my schedule today, right? Because I realized, okay, I played number 8 week 1. I played number 2 week 2. Week 3 I'm playing number 3, but last week he was week 1 and he's the defending champion. Week
Yep.
4 I'm playing Fox,
Oh shit.
No, you're
who
not.
is a
Wait, are
one-time
you kidding me?
champion, one-time runner-up. Yeah, I play Fox. Week 5 I play Snom, who has a super
No.
scary team. He has Wheezing Gigas, you know. Week 6 I'm playing Otter, who I don't even know what to think about him after week 1 and week 2 were totally completely different. Week 7, I am playing Yama. According to record and team, that's my easiest game is week 7 up to this point. Week 8, I have Bananas. He's got a pretty solid team. And then week
Yep.
9, with the last interleague game, I am playing. Let's see. I'm playing number 17. So it's like I feel like in terms of strength
Your
of schedule,
schedule
I
is so
have to have a
the toughest.
super hard schedule.
For sure.
Bro,
Um,
you have the toughest schedule I think I've seen by far. I haven't seen anyone else play Fox and B Haney from what I've looked at. I've just
Uh,
looked quick.
K,
There might be one or two.
yeah, KD plays Fox and Behani as well. But
yeah,
Oh,
so he knows the pain.
yeah, that's
And
that's
and it
no joke,
sucks
man.
too because it's like I'm going like
that's a
week 2
season one and
hyper
a season
offense,
two
week
champ.
3 hyper offense team, week 4 against Fox, who's just like a super bulky team that I don't even know how I'm gonna break through. I've already started thinking about Fox because I've already got my game plan for Behani, and like that's how scared I am of Fox. um, but
Oh
yeah, but like
God.
with all of that being said, you know, um, I don't know what to think about playoffs. Like I think we just have to see like if I beat Behani tomorrow, I'm gonna be feeling really good. Like I don't know how many wins I need to make playoffs. I think it's what, like 6 is
I
like a
think
pretty good
5 or
win.
6.
Yeah,
I think we're gonna
5 or
beat each
6.
other up this year because
yeah,
that's what happened last year. At least everyone just beat each other up, and everyone was like 5-6 or 6-5,
and
and playoffs. And yeah, wait,
I honestly think the West is turning out, I think, to be a little bit harder than
I
the East.
completely agree.
Um,
I completely agree. This is
and
like the NBA. I mean,
I,
like the Western Division is
and
just superior.
I think the 2-0 start is looking real nice, real nice.
Yeah.
And
No, it really is.
I also think you have the support and you have the offense you need in order to go the distance, which is huge. So dude, I'm pulling for you, man. I'm pulling for you.
I appreciate it. But
I'm
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I'm
call you
pulling
out
for
real
you
quick,
every week other
Tyros.
than this.
I'm gonna call you out, Tyros. You're pulling for me, but you didn't pick me in your predictions.
Woo!
But
No.
hey, that's okay, man, because my predictions this week are gonna start off 2-0, and yours are gonna have at least one loss. I don't know if you pick Silver or Fox. If you pick Fox, you're gonna be 1-1.
What do you think about the predictions tab? I love it so far. Do you guys like it as well?
Yeah, I like predictions. I think it's a cool way to incorporate everyone.
I agree.
Yeah, it
I
keeps
hope we
every.
get the Pokemon of the week thing that I recommended to be Hanny a couple weeks ago, doing like a weekly MVP vote that everyone gets to vote for.
Ooh, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice like incentive for a Twitter vote.
See, that's
Oh yeah,
exactly what I was thinking. I was like, it'd be so cool. At least, like, I was thinking, like, for my brand, right? If I was able to feature one of my Pokemon as MVP,
Oh
and I
man,
was got the idea, I was like, everyone could use that, you know?
absolutely. Yeah, that's a great idea, man. Yeah, that'd be a sweet like CPDL like Twitter vote. You get four choices, Pokemon of the week versus like maybe grab a cool support guy and a couple offensive guys and be like, hey, what do you guys think? We all vote. That could
I
that'd be
say it changes week to week because we all know who the top 4. Because this week it's definitely the weakness policy Vaporeon. It's definitely the physical Feeny. There were a couple other standouts from week 2, but like I love that idea. If it's a lot of work though for the moderator, so that's why I could see them kind of being like, "Hey, this is just extra work. I don't know if we have time." But yeah, that's something that could be a
No,
lot of
exactly.
fun
And
for everyone
I
and
completely
get more
understand.
people involved. So that's something. Yeah, I'll definitely bring that up to him too when we're doing the stream on Monday.
Yeah, that's a great
That's
point.
good.
I'm not gonna lie, pops. If I had to vote right now, I'm saying Finney, man. Like
Yeah, I
weakness
would vote
policy,
Feeny too.
physical Feeny just clapped, and
Yeah,
it
no, that
was.
was definitely week 2 MVP. We all know that. You can make a case. You can make a case for weakness policy Vaporeon, but weakness
Not
policy
no, you can't.
Vaporeon did not win their match.
Oh
That's
man,
why. No,
yeah,
that's why. Yeah,
yeah. The water types were no joke this week for sure.
Seriously, man, it was so funny. I was so mad when I saw that because I thought I was being original with it, and then I see that the day before my match, I'm like, okay, now I look like a copier. Like I look like a copier, you know? And so it's like, what the heck?
shout out Snom.
Yeah, there was some really cool tech this week, and I'm super pumped because like a lot of I feel like last season there's a couple people that just kind of like fell off and they just played the matches because they had to. And I feel like this
Mm,
season they play the matches because they want to, which I think is a big
right,
difference. And
100%. Yeah.
um,
And there's double the amount of people. We went from 12 to 24, and everyone seems more engaged this year, which I'd love. We have more streamers too, so you're able to see more of the matches. I'm having a lot of fun this season.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite parts about this is watching matches and even streaming
Yeah,
myself. Like, I mean, the fact that I learned that I can just buy like a $15 capture card off Amazon and stream from my Nintendo Switch is so cool.
dude, Behaney sent it to me. That's what was stopping me too, because I thought I needed this, the cat El Gato like $300 thing, and I'm not a technology
Yeah.
guy.
No, I literally the day before I ordered mine off Amazon for $15, I almost went to Best Buy and bought like the $150 Elgato. But then it doesn't
Yeah.
it doesn't work with my model of Mac. My Mac is like 7 or 8 years old, so it doesn't work with it anymore. And so I just was like, well, I guess I'm not streaming. And then I saw that, and I was like, okay, perfect. I am streaming now.
Dude, yeah, I got the $13 one from Walmart, and then I sent the link for the $15 one on Amazon, $13 one on Walmart, because they're the same one. I just want to spread the word that if you want to stream, there's ways to do it. Please talk to people in here because I downloaded the free software and I'm having a blast with it, and I'm glad to hear you are
Yeah,
too, Pops. And we're coming down to the end of
100%.
this. It's already 11:10. We're already like 45 minutes in, I believe. So is there anything else you want to say to the people before we get out of here?
I mean, I guess, just the normal stuff. Follow Twitter, follow Twitch. All three of us here, myself, Tyros, and Tom. YouTube for Tom. Um, really helpful for everyone here as content creators. And other than that, anyone in this league that is listening to this, stop sleeping on me. Stop disrespecting me in these power rankings.
Let's go.
When I was 24, I was like, all right. Then I move up to 12. I'm like, okay, that's respectable. And then I smoke number 2, and I only go up to 6. That actually hurt me a little bit. And I just think that at this point, Fox and B. Hanny, whoever's controlling those power rankings, want me to stay motivated to whoop their butts. So
Let's
that's
go,
what's going to
baby.
happen tomorrow. So comment at Twitch. It's 8 o'clock Eastern. It's going to be a good one. Number 6 versus
I'm
number
sorry
3.
this
We're going
isn't
to see
coming
what
out before
happens.
your match. Your match is going to happen before this. So I'm so I'm sorry about
Well, that's okay. That's okay. They'll get to see the VOD. My VOD should actually be up for this
Yes.
one. I don't know why I didn't go up for last one, but it should be up for this one.
Okay. And dude, this was awesome. I feel like we could go for another 45 minutes. And I just want to thank you for your time again. This was a blast. And Tyros, you got anything you want to say before we get out of here?
Yeah, thanks for coming on, man. Super
Sure.
excited to have you in the league and the creativity
Yep.
that you brought.
I'm
Can't.
so happy we found you and like this league found you.
Yeah,
Yeah, I am too, man.
I know
I'm
it
so
sucks
happy
that
to
you
be
got
here.
denied by 2 other leagues, but I'm actually really happy that it brought you to us.
Yes.
So
100%. I completely agree. Like, it's just so welcoming here, honestly.
So
Amazing.
thanks for stopping by, man, and can't wait to beat you in the playoffs.
Yeah, okay, we'll see, man.